Former President Donald Trump he's having some issues reaching out to his followers, his supporters, his friends. I'm kidding about that last part. He doesn't really have any friends. Um, he's not the kind of guy that makes friends. It's either you're going to use, he's going to use them or they're going to try to use him. But anyway, apparently he's just not getting the buzz on the internet that he used to. Y'all remember the days when he used to light up the web with a string of weirdly capitalized tweets with insults and straight up lies. Ah, yes. I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. And then what happened? He got deplatformed, which led to much wailing and gnashing of teeth from conservatives. But we all know, of course, that Trump wouldn't stay silent for long. Apparently, he tried numerous times to get back on Twitter, to go around the Twitter ban to no avail. In fact, there were several accounts. One was DJT Desk, and they're all variations, by the way, spelling of DJT Desk. So you got a capital here and you got a lowercase over here. They keep getting banned because it was speculated that the account was connected to the former president, as it was created by his staff in order to give him an access for updates in relation to his new website from the desk of Donald Trump. Per May 5th, the account was removed from the platform, with Twitter saying, Twitter suspend accounts which violate the Twitter rules. Spokesperson for Twitter said in a statement, as stated in our ban evasion policy, we'll take enforcement action on accounts whose apparent intent is to replace or promote content affiliated with the suspended account. Fun. Yes. In addition to DJT Desk, Twitter also suspended, again, the different variations of the spelling, DJ Trump Desk, which, at DJ Trump Desk. Get on that. Make some, maybe some trap music or something like that. House music. I don't know. What's cool today? I don't even know. So, also, Desk of DJT banned. Desk of Trump 1 also banned. DJT Tiny Desk. That's a good one. Y'all love that. That's fantastic. So yeah, it's pretty obvious. It's going well. Going very well. Now, in the absence of being kicked off Facebook and Twitter, Trump had promised, in the aftermath of getting kicked off Twitter and Facebook, Trump had promised a new social media website, which apparently is supposed to be tremendous, it's supposed to be great, the best social media website ever. It's going to be the best. Wow, what an amazing, beautiful, tremendous website. It's going to be great. Okay, but he does have a website, and what happened? Well, it's basically just a blog. That's it. He just posts stuff with no real option to respond or like or share or do anything like that. And so it's pretty limited. In fact, BuzzSumo, it's a social media analytics company. They took a look at the numbers, and they said the desk of Donald J. Trump is limited. Users can't comment or engage with the actual posts beyond sharing them to other platforms, which is the whole point, really, to get across over that Twitter ban. And it's an action, of course, few people do with the sharing, according to data. So basically, again, he went back to 2005, created the blog. And that's it. And in addition to, of course, blogging, he also decides to push crappy merch on his fans, which is fine. I mean, if they want to buy his merch, that's totally cool. Whatever. But anyway, congratulations, Mr. President. You have arrived in 2005. I mean, at least it's not GeoCities. It might be a WordPress, which is fine, but at least it's not GeoCities or an Angel Fire page. I'm really dating myself here. That said, how's it doing? Is it doing good? Not really. Data analysis conducted by NBC News show that Trump's new blog failed to generate significant traffic. Yikes. The ex-president's blog, according to BuzzSumo, has drawn a considerably smaller audience than his once powerful social media accounts, according to engagement data compiled with BuzzSumo. Likely because, again, there's no way to actually do the things that you want to do. Comment, like, share, or, well, you can share, but or anything like that, and only focused on, like, the only posts that he's really talking about is, oh, I can't believe the election was stolen from me. It was stolen. Bigly election fraud everywhere. Well, okay. And then occasionally he'll take shots at junky Kentucky Derby horses that failed drug tests. Well, you can see why that would be a massive failure. Now, if there's any lesson that we can take from this, is this. Deplatforming works. Trump blog's low engagement numbers suggest that the practice of deplatforming, or cutting off a user from their followers and therefore severing networks of common followers, is broadly effective and can be used to reduce hate speech and glorification of violence from mainstream platforms, notes NBC News. Now, I'm not saying that the deplatforming solves all the problems. No, it actually gets kind of complicated. You start to have issues with, gatekeeping, who gets left out of the conversation, who gets in the conversation. Not only that, but you end up driving some of these things underground where they still fester, and where it really might be more difficult to challenge those ideas. But there are upsides to it as well. For the record, I don't support the blanket deplatforming of people, who have different political ideologies. For example, I disagree with conservatives. Would I like to see all conservatives deplatformed? No, of course not. I would like to see their ideas challenged and beaten, because I believe we have the better ideas. I believe progressive ideas are just simply better than conservative ideas. And when you actually have real debates on these issues with factual information, those ideas from conservatives, they just don't hold up. Now, that said, I do think it's okay to deplatform people for hate speech, inciting violence, doxing other people, things like that. It's and really, it's not a First Amendment issue either, being deplatformed. Although, again, there are some possible downsides when you talk about gatekeeping and certain information, certain people. And look, there is again a dark side as well. For example, I'm in indie media, you know this, and I know a lot of people in indie media who have had run-ins with some of these policies. Now, again, they're not outright banned, obviously, but there are certain platforms, for example, like YouTube, that have elevated what they consider to be authoritative sources, which are basically legacy media, your CNNs, your MSNBCs, over everything else. And even your Fox Newses, by the way, which Fox News is one of the leading drivers of disinformation. And yet they are considered to be an authoritative source over someone like me, for example, who challenges those ideas in Fox News. And so that's a problem, okay? And as a result of being a non-authoritative source, well, that leads to reduced traffic, reduced revenue. It leads to videos being taken down more often that simply document what the right wing is doing. A good couple of examples here is Status Coup, run by Jordan Sheridan. This is somebody who goes around and he talks to right wingers, interviews them, pushes back on them. There's plenty of video documentation of him doing that, and yet he has had videos that were removed for supposedly breaking TOS by just interviewing these people and even pushing back, which that's not right. You shouldn't be removing those. Another victim of this has been the Surfs TV, friend of the show. They've had some of their videos, documentary type of videos, once again showcasing the things that the right wingers believe. And those videos were removed because they allegedly didn't challenge those ideas enough. But that is incredibly subjective. And so, you have these channels that are getting videos removed even when they challenge the ideas of the far right. And so there's some serious issues with enforcement. There's some serious issues with the algorithms clarity of the rules, and things like that. And what can be considered, pushing back on some of these bad actors and these terrible ideas. That said, right, the results of deplatforming do kind of speak for themselves. And so understand that this is a very nuanced position. This is a very nuanced conversation in talking about the context of independent media versus mainstream media. And so nonetheless, we're not quite talking about that because, again, I think the ban for Donald Trump was justified as a result of pushing all of this disinformation that has gotten people not only hurt, but has also gotten people killed as a result of pushing, for example, disinformation on coronavirus. And so there's a lot of that. In fact, removing Trump has had an increasingly good effect on the online discourse. According to research from Signal Labs, after the ban, online misinformation about election fraud itself plunged 73%. It went from, and this is, again, a week after the ban, the San Francisco-based analytics firm reported that conversations about election fraud dropped from 2.5 million mentions to 688,000 mentions across several social media sites in the week after Trump was banned from Twitter. So that said, deplatforming fascists definitely works. But as with anything, we really have to be careful and only going after those who deserve to be deplatformed and making sure to protect discourse in this country, even from those who have opposing views. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.